ever heard of Unknown Origin? It's this wild psychological horror thriller from 1983, a Canadian-American production directed by George P. Cosmatos. Yeah, it was his first big North American movie after doing a bunch of stuff in Europe. The story actually comes from a book called The Visitor by Chauncey G. Parker III, but the movie's totally its own thing. Starring Peter Weller, yep, Robocop himself, it dives into themes like obsession, isolation, and how your perfect home life can fall apart, all because of, get this, a mega rat. Here's what goes down. Bart Hughes, Weller, is this totally average investment banker working his butt off in New York City. Just when he's about to land a big promotion, he sends his wife Meg, Shannon Tweed, and kid Peter, Leif Anderson, away to Vermont for a little family break. He's left alone in their beautifully renovated brownstone, thinking he'll finally get some work done. But nope, his real problem shows up in the form of an enormous, super smart rat chewing wires, wrecking his appliances, and basically trashing the place. At first, it's just annoying, but Bart becomes obsessed, like researching rats non-stop, getting tips from the local super, shout out to Cleet, played by Louis Del Grande, buying traps, and even bringing home a cat. But the rat just will not quit. Things at work start spiraling. His boss Elliot, Lawrence Dane, and co-workers notice something's up, and Bart's life starts to fall apart, fast. Soon, the house is a full-on battleground, and Bart's losing it, attacking walls, setting booby traps, even donning hockey armor and wielding a crazy, nail-studded bat. The movie never gets into the supernatural. This rat is 100% real, which keeps things grounded and, honestly, way scarier. The suspense builds up big time, and you're just waiting to see if Bart can out-crazy the rat before his whole life goes up in smoke. The cast, mostly Canadian, since it was cheaper, but it totally works. Peter Weller gives his all. People say it's one of his best roles. Shannon Tweed pops up in her first movie as Bart's wife, and Jennifer Dale is his worried secretary, Laurie. Plus, you've got Louis Del Grande, Keith Knight, and Kenneth Welsh in supporting roles. Behind the scenes, Cosmatos wanted the rat to be like his own little Jaws, creepy, lurking, always one step ahead. They filmed most of it on a giant set in Montreal, so they could literally destroy the house piece by piece while shooting. Real rats, puppets, creative editing, and none of those silly CGI effects, just gnawing, smashing, flooding chaos. The script is sharp, with little homages and even some dark humour, inspired by the screenwriter's stepdad, who was obsessed with keeping things clean. The title, it actually comes from a dictionary entry for rats, of unknown origin. Pretty clever, right? Of Unknown Origin hit theatres in late 1983, but just in a few cities. It didn't make a ton of money at the box office, only about 1.1 million in the US, but it definitely left a mark. Critics were all over the place, but most agreed Weller was awesome, and the tension was real. Some thought it dragged here and there, but that final showdown, totally worth it. Fun facts, Stephen King calls it one of his fave horror flicks. Weller actually snagged a Best Actor award at a Paris Film Festival. And if you love a good insult, there's Bart's classic line, "Watch and weep, you furry fucker," right before he gets even with that rat. These days, you can find it on DVD or Blu-ray. One even has a cool 2K restoration. If you like your horror with some brains and a few gnawed wires, or you've ever battled a pest in your own home, you'll want to check this one out. It's got everything: suspense, a little bit of camp, and a surprisingly deep look at how ambition and one really big rat can mess up your whole life. Bottom line, Of Unknown Origin is a cult classic that'll make you laugh, squirm, and maybe look twice at your basement. Give it a shot next movie night if you're brave enough.